What's going on, guys? Hey, this video is for anybody that got an ultra low mortgage over the last couple of years. We knew that mortgage rates were really, really low from, say, 2020 all the way through kind of 2021-ish, and then 2022 kind of fell apart. They got a little bit more expensive. And one thing that I noticed recently with a lot of applicants is that they started to stack on other liabilities because they didn't want to touch their mortgage. They thought the mortgage rate was so good, let's just kind of leave it alone. So in this example, I want to show you, this is kind of a live kind of a scenario or live breakdown on a client that we had who didn't want to touch the mortgage at all, just wanted to really kind of consider maybe an equity line of credit, which might be a good option. But I want to show you this entire breakdown just for awareness. And please share this with anybody that you may feel, could use this, because this was sort of eye-opening for a lot of us. In this scenario, you can see right here, they have a mortgage balance of about $303,000. And they took this thing out in kind of the summertime of 2020. So we had refinanced this client, got him into a 30-year fixed, 2.75% interest rate. It's a fantastic rate. There's no reason to really touch it, except they stacked a lot of other debt. You can see down here, the debt balance in this particular case was $114,000. Now, in their scenario, there were no other liabilities other than credit cards. There were no car payments, no student loans. They just had credit card. Why? Well, they started to get home improvement done. They started to they didn't want to take an equity line back then because they were too expensive. So they thought, well, I'll just kind of get this credit card and I'll go get some furniture. And then, well, now that I get the furniture, you should probably do the floors. And well, now we got the floors done. Let's throw some paint on the wall. Wall's got new paint, might as well put a new TV on it, and you kind of get the point, right? It just keeps stacking over and over again. So all of a sudden now, the spending is kind of getting a little bit out of control. And for a while there, these were all on 0% interest. The problem with it is that they just didn't get to a place where they could actually pay this debt off. So they had all this debt kind of stacking for them, but nothing to actually pay it off. And so now they're in repayment terms with really high interest rates. We know that interest rates have gone up not only for mortgages, but our credit cards, which a lot of us don't even know what we pay in our credit card interest. But if you were to take a look, you'd be shocked. So in this scenario, this is actually what the balances were. This is what the monthly payments were. We've got $114,000 in credit card debt, and we've got about $3,500 a month going out just to cover the bare minimum payment. It's a little bit too high. Let's take a look at the blended cost of the money. Now, this is where the secret is. See, we're so focused on the mortgage at $303,000 at 2.75. We definitely don't want to touch that, except in this scenario, they were carrying $114,000 in debt at a blended average of 26.6% on that entire sum of money. So if you add the total household debt, you're at $417,944. And because of the interest, given how much interest is being charged on what portion of that debt, the household debt is actually 9.265. We wouldn't notice that unless we were to do the math, and most people don't do that, or they don't even have access to the calculators to do it. So they think, hey, we're safe here, don't touch the mortgage. Maybe I need to do some consolidation. These couple, they were quoted with a debt consolidation option that was far less than the 114 that they're in debt with. And the interest rate was still in the 20s. So it wasn't going to make any sense. So that's why they came and said, what else can we do? Let's get an equity line of credit. Now, we took a look at that. We decided actually a first mortgage would make a little bit more sense. So here's kind of how that broke down. So again, mortgages at 2.75%, normally would say, no way, we're not touching that. We're actually proposing in this scenario that we move into something maybe in the low sixes. In this case, it was a 6 1/8 interest rate. And we're going to consolidate all the debt into one place. We're going to basically pay off everything. That 114 grand is going to go away. It's going to get paid at closing. You can see down here, it's at 0 on the proposed. So debt inclusion is 114 grand. And we have a new mortgage. Our new mortgage is going to go up. That's the scary part. We don't want our mortgage to be too expensive. Here's the difference. Principal and interest was $1,327 on that nice 2.75% interest rate. And we have a proposed mortgage of $2,609. So it's definitely a lot higher. And it's one of those things that gets us a little bit nervous. See, property taxes really didn't change too much, but look what happened. The revolving debt completely went away. That $3,543 is gone. It's now a part of the mortgage, right? So we don't have anything over there. We just have a heavier mortgage payment. Yes, the mortgage did go up, but the total outgoing, you can see, was $54.97 was the minimum net that this family had to cover. It's now been reduced to $32 $1,236. It's just a mortgage now. So there's a savings of $2,261. What happens if we apply it the right way? Let's just say that we take the Dave Ramsey approach. We consolidate all of our debt. Now we want to actually throw all this money at the principal and want to get our house paid off faster. Well, if we saved $2,261 and we were comfortable with that outgoing expense before, we could throw all that money at the principal now. And if we did that, we'd pay our house off in 9 years, 10 months. We would actually save an absolute ton of money over time. We're going to increase our net worth by over $218,000 by doing that. And that's really a home run, except maybe lifestyle was a little tight with all of that money going out every month. So what if you wanted to hold some of that money back? Well, this scenario right here will show that you still get to the finish line ahead, keeping $1,000 in hand. We're going to send $1,261 in this scenario to the principal to rapidly pay it off a little bit faster. And we're going to actually reduce our expenses by $1,000. So now all the credit card debt's gone. We changed our lifestyle by $1,000 a month. We're making things a little bit more comfortable. We're still getting aggressive with the repayment on our terms, and we're able to pay this off in 13 years, 9 months. Now, all of this is considering that rates don't get lower in the future, but what happens if they are? This is using a 6 1/8 interest rate. Let's say that interest rates get back down into the 5s. Well, at that point, we're definitely going to consider a refinance to further lower that payment and possibly either add a little bit more savings in our monthly budget or add a little bit extra to the principal just to get to the finish line a little bit faster. Guys, I hope you find this helpful. Just wanted to share this with you. This was one that was sort of shocking to me. Again, normally I would look at a 2.75% interest rate on a mortgage and I would say, absolutely not, let's leave it alone. But given the amount of money that was going out to credit cards and the blended cost of the household debt, it actually made sense in this case. And so I would encourage you to do the same. If you want us to take a look at it, you can simply send us kind of a breakdown of what you got going on. I'll calculate it out for you and send you back some samples and we can talk a little bit more about it. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let us know if we can do anything to help. We'll talk to you soon.